look like bridesmaids, and they all think so. Don't be talking sideways. He said you look like this. He makes sure he put Cardi down on his list. Now why this? Gonna look at my snap.
We are just inside the Beltway, about 10 miles east of the Capitol Dome as we come to you from FedEx Field here in Landover. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Cleveland Browns and the Washington Redskins. Now the Georgia Southern man, this is Jarek McKinnon. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked
trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off by David Anderson. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And nothing doing on his first run. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Here's Newton now on second down. It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. And a nice gain of 21 yards. We often, with Cam Newton, talk a lot about his legs. Don't forget about that arm.
He can throw it on a rope. He can loft it. He's got the touch that's been developed throughout his career. But the big part about just watching him throw it seems almost effortless.
A first down carry by Elliott. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
On second down, Elliott looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a third down and 6. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. A shotgun snap for Newton. It's caught. Lockett. It's a gain of 6 as they're able to convert, and now it's first and goal.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now Elliott. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle. Shifts by him. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Now Newton on 3rd and goal. Forced out to his left. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And they'll have the football, but deep in their own territory as he's brought down at the 5.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they'll throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
And he's taken down, but able to get this up to the 20-yard line. They were looking for a cushion from that end zone, and he gave it to him, 15 big yards. So the previous play, a big help, as now they'll have it 1st and 10 up at the 20. Right back to him on 1st down. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. And in Week 17, let's hope this won't affect him for the playoffs. We'll step aside. Nyheim Hines, his first carry. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, where that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. This is Hines. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Browns with a football to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. They run with Hines. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
And when you get good yardage like that on 1st down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up 1st downs.
He winds up getting only a couple there, down to the 29.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Watch it now, Barney! Barney!
Now it's Hines. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let them down a little bit.
They allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff them for a loss. Back to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowl safety Cam Chancellor. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So the first interception of his career under center, and you knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
It has to. And I know he feels like the world is just tumbling down at this moment, but there's got to be some veteran somewhere, some mentor that's going to tell him, hang in there, my man. Plenty more to come. Keep firing.
He lost 6 there on the first down play. From the end zone, Newton. Going for the deep ball. Looking for Lockett, and it's intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And they will finally bring this run back to an end, but not before he's down inside the 5-yard line at the 4. And that pick just sets him up beautifully right down near the goal line.
I remember being in a defensive meeting back when I was in college, and our defensive coordinator says, we're going to call this Be Who You Are defense. D lineman, you play the run.
Fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out into the Redskins. How did they do?
Pardon me, you know how often we hear about the red zone, right? From the 20-yard line going in, that scoring zone, getting points on the board. A lot of teams call from the 10-yard line in the green zone. That's your money zone. He fumbles the ball inside the money zone. You have one job, take care of the ball. That didn't happen.
They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he'll power his way up near the 25. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, and you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Rolling to his right. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 34. Big yardage that time for the Redskins. 42 yards. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. 2 minutes remain in a scoreless first half. Back to FedEx Field following this short break. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. The give is to Elliott. And fighting down inside the 25. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 11 more on that one, and another first down. A tough run by Ezekiel Elliott, the 4th overall pick in the 2016 draft.
If you watch tape of him in college, you saw plenty of those runs because I know the highlights showed him in the open field breaking away from people, but that's how he wore down defenses, those exact type of runs.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. On the tackle, Tyrann Mathieu. Clock running as the Redskins try to hurry up. Off play action, Newton. And his throw is incomplete. The tight end, Max Williams, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. And he's got Lockett. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And there was absolutely zero pressure on the quarterback on that play. 3rd down, and he has all the time in the world to eventually find an open receiver for a 1st down pickup.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. And now a timeout called defensively by the Browns, as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number one. One man in the backfield, that's Elliott on 2nd and goal. They get it to him running left. He gets this down to the 3, but no further. Brought the great move out of the bag, but couldn't do a ton with it. And now the Browns are going to take another timeout, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. How about this Browns defense they've held so far? This is now 3rd and goal.
Let's rock now.
Here's Elliott. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Redskins. Ezekiel Elliott with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Redskins are able to strike for 6. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. There he goes left side. Past the 20. And how about that return? As he's all the way inside the 20-yard line.
And that's the type of return that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the defense now. They've got to go out on the field almost like it's a sudden change, almost like it's a turnover. Maybe I go out there and try and stop them. But, boy, what a tough spot they're in.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Escaping the pressure right. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by the free safety, Eric Berry. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Final 12 seconds of the half now, as they've got it 1st and 10. They start on the ground with Elliott. And he'll get this one up to about his 14. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see.
Here we go, folks.
On 2nd down, here's Newton. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando. That's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Okay, Coach. Appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. So out now come the Redskins. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now after the sack. It's 2nd and 20. They'll pitch it out to Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott going to take it the distance. 20, 10, 5. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Newton now to throw. He's going to air one out. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Washington. Odell Beckham, 93 yards. And the Redskins find a way to stretch their lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Well, his first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he'll score. Touchdown, Browns. Nyheim Hines, 97 yards. And the Browns are back within a score. Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll make our score 14-7. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. This is taken about 7 yards deep. Oh, spinning away. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Looking to find a lane, but he can't, reined in at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made that time by Anthony Barr.
And I think that's going to go down as no gain. But that doesn't seem fair for the effort that was presented on that play. That should go down as a loss. I know, I'm a defensive guy, but you got to like the play that was made.
He made a lot of those plays last week. He was AFC Defensive Player of the Week, picking up where he left off. They go to Elliott again. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and 12.
Do something. Gun. Say, 180.
They'll try the air now with Newton. They'll lock it with a grab over the middle. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Newton able to use those legs and get past the marker to pick up the first.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll be 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Newton. Eluding the pressure right. He may try and run for this. And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now a first down throw for Newton. Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. And I think the Browns got it. They did.
All these years we've been watching the game, I start to get the sense that whenever it rains out, those guys who have to touch the ball and carry it, they're extremely resentful about that weather.
Yeah, I'm just happy I'm not resentful that we have a roof over our heads. I know that much.
Yeah, maybe we won't fumble our play sheets here as we just saw the fumble happen on the field.
And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Detroit! Detroit! Over!
They run once more with McKinnon. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? 2nd and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy first down conversion. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Screen play, McKinnon. Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
They run it with McKinnon. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Jerick McKinnon, touchdown number 15 on the year. And the Browns are within an extra point of tying this thing up. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. Set to go now with the kickoff. These two teams all even again as we continue in this wild 4th quarter. Jakeem Grant now to return. Stays on his feet. And he'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Now, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Another carry tonight for the workhorse Elliott. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
3rd and long, it's Newton. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the 4th quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to with you and your brothers. Just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though. It's a 41-yard punt, but just a net of 31 following the run back. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown. And now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense. They got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Flushed out right. Wide open receiver complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. That goes for a gain of 31.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
McKinnon. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. The linebacker Ryan Shazier there to make the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here again is McKinnon. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. Give the tackle there to Josh Norman.
We know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. On play action, they'll throw. Steps away to his left. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 24. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit. And receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
Here's Elliott. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Newton. He's airing it out for Williams. Oh, wide open, complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. They give him a gain of 37.
Okay, there's 3 timeouts left, right?
Think you got to use one here, don't you?
No doubt about it. I'd use one right here.
Now a final chance to stop it here as a timeout comes in with 10 seconds left in the game. A 20th carry here for Elliott. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. Again, it's Elliott. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game. That's a pretty strong return to start this overtime, and you know that if you run some decent offense, you should have a shot at a field goal. But I'd have to think to myself, I want the 6 points. I want this game over now. I don't want to give the other team a chance to come back and beat me.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to take this across the 50 into Browns territory. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Right to the 3. Greg, do something.
First throw in overtime for Newton. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. So a big play in this opening drive of overtime. Now looking at a 3rd and 3.
3 down. Ready? 180. Do something.
Now Newton shedding the tackle. Trying to lay one up deep. So they took a shot there on 3rd down. Couldn't get it. Now it's 4th. Well, I know you're toward the middle of the field here, but still, 4th down this distance, you got to punt it right.
That's definitely the first instinct because you say, okay, let's just play some field position, make sure we don't lose the game here, turn it over in a key spot. But if you feel really good about your trigger guy, if you feel great about him, you might want to leave the ball in his hands and let him work his magic. I tell you, it's not easy kicking field goals in the best of conditions. Yet in a downpour like we're in right now, it makes it that much harder. And sure enough, they can't convert here.
Now McKinnon. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Wasn't able to get anything, no gain. Fumbled once already. Maybe he's being a little careful. Not necessarily on that play, but I'm sure that's in his mind somewhere.
Oh, without a doubt, because protecting the football is job one for anyone who's carrying it. And that's exactly what he tried to do on that play, but it didn't gain him any yardage.
They find some open field here. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. A huge play there in overtime. 48 yards. Two minutes to go here in overtime. We'll be back after this. They'll try and sneak it here. And he is in for the score. And it is absolute stunned silence here as they win it on the road in overtime. Partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime. A little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters, what you wanted. But how much fun was that? We had... What a game.